guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for another episode of Paradise City, where I haven't prepped anything. That being said, if you like what we do here, and you like what the inevitable shit show of tonight's going to be, you can support this channel by going down the links below, and either joining our Patreon, or subscribing here on Twitch, or hell, both of them. Alternatively, that bar in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, the corruption bar, serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I get to do what the hell I want to these unsuspecting players, and two, every dollar that goes back into that jar goes back to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing players that you see here before you. That being said, let me introduce us back to the world of Paradise City, and then we can see what the hell is going to happen on this episode. Previously on Paradise City, Artemis, Judd, and Friday began their inquisition of the young Miss Delia regarding their apparent capture behind the Tartarus and her involvement with Polly, Ermi, and Sam Spade. Reluctant on the details, Delia said she was rather close with Polly and his band, and that she had delivered a message to Sam before he died, a message that she conveyed to our investigators, thus bestowing a curse of prophecy upon them. Satisfied with the information, and the dozen or so new clues pointing back to the Yamashiro Building, Artemis hired a private security to escort Delia to a hotel and keep an eye on her, while the rest figured out their next move. We are outside of this warehouse in Paradise City, in New Arkham. You all have dropped off Delia to her security team, and the four of you stand outside of this unassuming warehouse in the beginning hours of the wee morning. What are the four of you doing?
Beginning and wee the same thing.
No, it's beginning of the tiny hours. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like a 2 a.m. is tinier than 12 p.m., right? So it's tiny hours. In case you were wondering.
Noted.
Mm-hmm.
So the main goal Art has, we're probably filled in Molly. I mentioned this in our DMs on everything except for Polly's new girlfriend. Don't figure she needs to know that detail. If she asks, Art would probably tell her, but at this point she's like, "We'll deal with that later. That is not important. She's in a hotel now. Okay." And then it has been requested that Art go get stuff from her cop car.
Did you tell her about the prophetic thing? Because none of you believe it. But it did happen.
I feel like yes.
Okay.
She said this in this kind of way. It was interesting, and then doesn't skip a beat, keeps going.
So the way this works for you, Kitty, mechanically, you are unaffected by this in the traditional sense. But the move is as follows. She said, if you continue along this path, you will all end up like Sam Spade, which is incredibly cryptic. They all have a status now. They cannot take actions to avert this fate, and this also applies to any attempt to remove it, because no one believes it should be removed. So while you don't have the status, you also don't believe that it's real, and thus have no inclination to help them remove it from themselves. But yeah, you're unaffected, and you can just go about your day, living life. You could just go home right now if you wanted to, and just be fine. And never show up to this case again.
All right, see you guys later.
Just be like, I'm
Peace, bitches.
Get out while you can.
Yep.
Molly's just got a freezer full of cash. All right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I believe that. Just stacks of ones.
It's like all her credit cards are frozen and blocks of ice. Wads of cash.
That's the montage. Just her just chipping it to get the.
I gotta get the fuck out of here. These bitches are crazy.
Oh man.
I killed a guy.
I want that to happen. Not maybe in this game, but there's actually a mechanic in City of Mist that just whatever you do, you can't leave. So when you try, the flight gets canceled, bad weather rolls in, your credit card gets declined, your bank is overdrawn. So there's just any number of excuses why you can never actually leave. And just to see Molly be like, why can't I leave? Would be great. Just going full Karen on the airport at somebody, be like, I just want to get on an airplane.
What do you mean I have to wear a mask and there's no masks left in the city?
Too real. Too real.
Hand sanitizer? Do you know where I work?
I use wipes. You don't want to know where, but I promise clean.
Molly has stock in hand sanitizer. She owns 41% of Listerine, or Lysol, rather. Oh, God. Okay, well, so the four of you stand outside this warehouse. I know, Artemis, you want to go back to your car. Mm-hmm. Currently, there are no cars here. Oh, no, there's the Kia Soul is still here. Because you didn't actually dump the Kia Soul. So, you have the Kia that you are able to drive places. I know Molly doesn't have a car, and I know that Friday doesn't have a car, but he has a cell phone. So, what are you all doing?
I'd probably drive to near my car, like around the corner, with Molly, because I'm gonna assume Friday's gonna call his own car. That seems like a Friday move.
Maybe Friday wants to come cuddle.
I mean, Friday.
Are you coming with us Friday? Look, I've been wearing the same clothes for like 3 days. I just got this fur coat. There's nothing underneath. Okay, I have to go and get something. I smell like a meat factory. There's so much blood.
I also appreciate that the fur coat with nothing under it is a choice, because you had a dress inside that you just took off and left there.
It was covered in blood. What is she so...
I get it.
It's ruined. I can't wear it. My hair.
Friday?
This will never come out.
Art just looks at him like, are you sure you want to hang with us? Because, dear God.
Friday kind of looks at Molly, looks back at Artemis, looks at Molly and says, the invitation is nice, but there are still some things to clean up here.
We can get margaritas, you know?
Oh, God.
That sounds delicious, though. Where? That's not my drink of choice. Thank you. Looks to Artemis. Please take care of her.
Yeah.
I'll take care of Judd.
Okay.
And take care of our situation here, including that Kia. Where shall I meet you?
I'm thinking the cafe. We all know where it is. Hasn't been burned yet, as far as I know.
Friday reaches... Sorry, go ahead.
And we're off to see my dad, so, that's going to be a drive.
Friday reaches into his pocket, their pocket, pulls out a burner, hands it over to you, says, there's only one number programmed in. I ditch your phone for the time being.
Yeah. She'll take it. She's going to drive to near her police vehicle. She's going to tell Molly, go home, change, meet me at the cafe. I'm going to grab some stuff. I'm going to procure a vehicle and, take a cab. Leave the Kia somewhere. I think in your part of town you'll figure out somewhere. Yeah?
Got this.
Okay.
Can I just inject that I feel like Friday has a jacket, you open it up, and it's like just a row of burner phones that are just ready to be activated.
Oh, it's full of pockets, and there's something in every pocket.
Yeah.
Most of them
It's
have
like
burner
he's flashing
phones.
someone, but it's just
it's the guy from Resident Evil. What are you buying? What are you selling?
What do you want?
What's your poison?
I think the number of phones that I've seen Friday produce, anytime he rolls or they roll a sneak around, it's going to be at a -1 for the clanking sound of phones in his pockets.
I would think that they have already produced enough, like they got something well tailored and made so that moving silently, but also usually expects to be in places where it's noisy and not really.
His pockets are specially lined.
Yeah.
For no clanks.
It's +1 to not get shot, but it's a -1 to move around.
We need to have a scene where he gets shot. But
It's just like, and he pulls out the phone.
Bullets just in a phone.
It's a 2001 Nokia. You're like, no, indestructible. Beep, boop, boop. And he calls someone on it.
Oh, I assumed these were Nokias. We never said it. I just assumed.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Oh,
I need something
God.
slightly indestructible.
Oh, God. Okay. So it sounds like Artemis takes the Kia to her car with Molly, gives the Kia to Molly to drive back to her place, and then Artemis heads away in her cop car.
In my head, she's taking the shit
her
out of there
personal
that
car, rather.
belongs to her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an extra weapon, her go bag.
So we're leaving the car with Molly because I don't think Molly knows how to drive.
I was
Well,
think
then
thinking
she
that Friday
should-
would arrange for a car for both of you. That way, that there's not a situation, and that Friday would take care of the soul and getting Judd more medical attention, as we had talked about.
That works. So we're in a town car of some sort. I get dropped off. Tell the driver, wait for her to change, whatever, stay as long as you need, and then go to this address. Art's gonna get duffel bag. I figure it's got some clothes in it, maybe some random tools, maybe an extra weapon, but Art pretty much sticks with her pistol. This would be like a backup.
okay.
And then I think she's gonna go home. Take her little roundabout ways like she always does. She realizes where they're going. The club, the golf club words. And she would have noted this to Molly, wear something nice. If you have something conservative, that would be great. If you don't.
Has Molly ever been to a party here with
I don't think so. Like, picture every
Fancy golf.
picture
place.
every douchey, like, Brad and Chad country club. That's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
I didn't know if
And we're going for brunch.
what's his face had been there.
Mr.
Polly?
Gold, I don't think he would have brought anyone with him. Like, this is kind of like...
Remember Vidalis?
Yeah, I don't think he would bring anyone with him. It's one of those places where, like, you go for a business meeting, but it's several other people of similar business. So, like, at most, he would have brought, like, a bodyguard.
Yeah. That would have been mentioned to you, whatever Molly shows up in, she shows up in, not ready for anything. But Artemis is actually going to find, like, a nice plain dress.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have a nice sweater. Underneath, though, maybe she's got straps for things in various places, guns, etc. Not those kind of straps. She still wants to be very prepared. And she's gonna leave the red wig on. She wants to shock the fuck out of her dad at this point because she is fed up.
Interesting.
So she's gonna go in kind of looking exactly like her mom.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Just as a psychological thing.
So,
And then I don't think she would take her car because she knows the Vidalis guys have been watching her.
okay.
I think she'd call another car or order one.
Okay, so it sounds like we're about to do a montage. And it sounds like your move is called prepare for your next adventure or your next activity. So tell everyone what you've just done, how you prepare, and choose one. Recover all your burnt tags, which I believe you have none, or gain 3 juice from your description that you can choose basically to have the same effect as change the game. So you essentially get 3 juice to create story tags or improve story tags in some kind of manner as per change the game. I feel like that makes the most sense given what you said. So, like, for change the game, you can create a story tag, you can scale up the effect, you can make it last longer, you can hide it, or something else that you and I agree on. And these are tags.
The go bag would basically probably be the best story tag.
Okay, so we'll say that you have a story tag called Go Bag 1. You can make that bigger if you'd like. But the way that'll work, I think, is like you can roll to do something and like you just have whatever item in that go bag, right? Will be a bonus to whatever you're trying to do, right? Like it's kind of like a random +1 and then it gets used up. So you can make up to 2 more of those. You can make that one stronger.
I would just make the go bag as strong as I could because That's basically what she's after at
Okay.
this point.
So I will give you 2 choices here. You can make a go
Okay.
bag plus 3, or
Mhm.
you can make 3 go bags. So you can use it 3 times.
Let's do the +3.
Okay. So you have a plus 3 go bag that you can use on a upcoming roll. Let's jump back to... actually, let's jump straight over to Molly. So Molly, where do you go?
Molly's gonna go home
Okay.
because she is disgusting. More disgusting than her longest night at work.
I believe this is the first time we've seen Molly's home. I think.
We went in like the
We
like,
dropped
first-
her off
Yeah.
there.
So
That was
just
it.
so that's right. You had like a nicer upscale kind of place in like a seedy part of town, like a nicer apartment. So okay, so describe to us what you're doing in your apartment when you get there. Like what's
I
going
think like
through
the
Molly's
moment
mind?
that like Molly has calmed down a little bit from what's happened, but she's still a little kind of like what the fuck, but also like comfortably numb.
Sure.
And needing to focus on what's going on. So I think the moment she begins to walk into her apartment, she's just going to start to strip everything that's on her, kicking off her shoes. If she's got her hair up, pulling her hair, and tying it down, and going straight and having a shower. And I feel like she's going to take a nice long time in the shower.
Okay.
Just sort of soaking and relaxing and trying to feel as much like her normal self as possible to prepare her. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read off some montage things for you because you have a wide range of what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
You can give attention to your logos being your normal everyday Molly life. So you can describe how you do that and we can mark an attention on one of your mundane skills. You can explore your mythos, which might be interesting because you just did murders. And then it's kind of the same thing. You tell us how you explore that and we mark an attention on that kind of card. You can work the case, which is you gain clues, which I think is a little bit harder to do from your house, or you can prepare for the next activity, which is just what Artemis did as well.
I think we'll to explore her mythos.
Okay.
I think, I don't know if this would play into it, but I to fit towards it with the scene of what she's doing, maybe she's washed herself off and she's run herself a bath now to sit and soak and think for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The poor driver outside. And maybe she's focusing on her relic and just kind of looking at, probably like puts them on and is kind of just looking at it in like curiosity.
So you see as your lush bath bomb is spinning out there, it's a good like black and red one, and you are holding these metal claws basically, right? This like hand chain that kind of wraps around the wrist, these 4 metal claws, and you can see as you're looking at it that like there's still blood like on these, and it kind of gives you that like freaked out kind of moment for a second, and you start to like pick them off, but you realize that the blood has like, it's not coming off. It's not a blood stain. It appears as though what you've done has dyed this metal red, like it absorbed whatever you did and is now permanently part of this thing. So we're gonna mark attention in your claws, your devil's claws. And you're going to get 1 clue about your mystery, your relic. So you can ask me 1 question pertaining to your mythos, and I have to answer you truthfully.
Oh, that's hard. I don't know what to ask about that. Let me think.
Well, it can be also from you. It can be from Kitty to me. It doesn't have to be from the context of Molly. It's a good one.
I think in the context of Molly, I think Molly is going to think
Mm-hmm.
in curiosity if any of this is like, if she's going crazy or not. Like, is she losing her mind? Is she being sort of absorbed into this mythos and losing herself? And I think that's going to be something that she's probably thought about a lot, even while in her drunken state.
Am I losing my mind? That's a good question. I think like, so you're in the bathtub, right? And you're like playing with these these finger cuffs, and you're thinking like, am I losing my mind? What have I done? What's going on? Right, the same kind of thoughts again that you said you were feeling when you were in the bathroom in the warehouse, and like you absentmindedly like put the rings on for a second, and you feel admittedly better with them on. Like perhaps what you did was the right thing. And that's kind of where your clue goes from there. So that's up to your interpretation. But it seems as though those thoughts you're having go away when you're wearing the finger cuffs. So yeah, we see we see a tasteful anime steam to cover up Molly in her bath scene, and clothes are applied, and you are ready for your ride to the donut shop. Is there anything else you'd like to do in your apartment before leaving?
No, just get dressed.
Okay. Also,
and something tasteful.
I was gonna
All
say.
I imagine she has. Okay, so I'm picturing she has because they mentioned it's brunch, and I think Molly loves brunch, especially working in the job that she does. That's her first meal of the day is brunch. Yeah. I imagine she has on high-waisted, if I can speak, high-waisted pants, but they're like slacks with really wide legs, and they're black, and a almost like a wrap shirt.
Okay.
Like it's cut very low with cleavage.
Yep, of course it is. Cleavage. Yeah.
And then just like a big, like suit jacket.
Do you have an obnoxious hat?
I think she has a tiny little black one with a flat brim around.
Okay, perfect. Like a hip trilby. Fantastic. And then you get into the town car that Friday has called for you that has been waiting for probably hours outside of the apartment.
She brings a little coffee out too.
Like an espresso. And he takes you off to the Once Around the Block coffee shop. While that's happening, we cut back to Friday at this mysterious warehouse in a decent part of town. Friday, what are you doing?
Friday's going to do 3 things.
Great.
First thing they are going to do is arrange for a car for Judd.
Okay.
Be taken to a relatively nondescript motel where a doctor on the pay can take care of him.
Okay. I like that. I feel like I want you to roll change the game.
Well, you're definitely going to want me to roll change the game, because the thing I would do right before this is all over, or like as Judd goes off, I would then call the doctor specifically and say, please make sure he doesn't wake up for a couple of hours.
Interesting. Yeah, then I would like you to roll me change the game.
Absolutely, Mike. I would love to roll you change the game.
Please do. Human behavior doesn't count here.
Insulting criminal?
I'll take it.
Mastermind.
I'll take it.
And turn the tables.
Turn the tables. Okay, let's see here. Let's see how we can ruin Friday's day.
You can totally ruin Friday's day. There's one perfectly well right there. Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
Friends Everywhere would be a good one too.
No, I'm sorry. That one actually can't be used because it's burned.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah, that is rough.
But again, Friends Everywhere is usable as well.
Well, Friends Everywhere was what I was going to make the suggestion for. So now I have to change what I was going to do because I forgot that those were burned. Damn it.
Oops.
Oops is right.
Where do I go? There's so many opportunities to mess with you here.
I think it's a question of loyalty, honestly.
It was either that or family bonds. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with the question of loyalty.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so you take a -1 there. So it's a +3 -1, and you give me a roll.
Change the game. What did I get? What did I get? Where did it go?
Great success. 2 power tags. So I assume that is you create the doctor and you make sure that he's asleep for a long enough time.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Done and done. So you make your phone call. The person on the phone has a very like Aunt Edna smoking voice, right? Has the, yeah, no, I understand. I'll pick him up, and it's CD Motel on 123 CD Motel Street. I get it. So it's very much like that guy, right?
Absolutely.
And then an unmarked, it's not even, it's barely unmarked. What picks him up is, imagine like a 1950s ambulance that's just been blacked out, is what picks him up. So it's
a hearse.
Well, no,
So
it's bigger than a hearse, right? But yeah, it looks like a hearse. It's all blacked out with tinted windows, yeah, it is glossy black finish on it, and absolutely has the black hearse like curtains on the actual like, you know, litter end of the ambulance. And they pick him off, and as the guy opens the door, very much like you would imagine, a plume of cigarette smoke leaves this place, and it is a 5'2" little Italian man with like slicked back white hair. He has a leather apron on and a white shirt and kind of like khaki slacks on as he kind of shuffles over and loads Judd into the ambulance side of this thing, despite Judd being very ambulatory and awake. He lays him down in this thing and slides it forward, closes the doors, and says, I'll give you a call when he comes around.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Have a good one. And he kind of heads out of there, leaving you alone in this warehouse. What you doing?
The next thing I'm going to do is make a phone call.
Ooh.
To Belladonna.
Ooh. Okay. Now, what are you trying to do with this phone call? Is this a montage move that you're trying to make here?
This is not a montage. This is just me. And the montage is coming next, and I'd be happy to explain all that.
Let's hear it. Let's hear this conversation.
Hello, Belle.
Alex?
I just wanted to say thank you.
For?
The use of the warehouse.
Well, everything comes around eventually, Alex.
I'm sure it does. I just wanted to assure you, nobody spent time in the basement.
Oh, I know.
I figured as much. I figured that you were watching us the entire time. Did you enjoy the show?
It was a good show. That Delia girl. Interesting.
Yeah, I found her a little bit of a bore, but she was kind of innocent, so she deserved to be taken care of.
She seems like a nice girl.
If she somehow ends up in your care or possession, I'll understand.
We'll see.
No blood on the carpet. Minimal impact on the bar, and I believe the young woman Molly borrowed a coat that I'll have returned.
Oh, and the bathroom will be cleaned. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I didn't see the inside of the bathroom. I'm sorry for whatever's in there.
It's fine. It's understandable given the state of your friend Molly, was it?
Yes.
It comes out.
I'm sure. Well, it's not the 24 hours that I asked for, but thank you very much. And
I mean, the place is still yours. You have 24 hours.
I don't think I'll need it. Thank you.
Was there anything else I could help you with, Alex?
No. Thank you. You have a lovely day, and I hope I don't have to call you again.
So do I. Click.
Wow.
Now, what happens next?
What happens next? How long did we determine how long we were actually going to spend doing this, or was it just sort of like an indeterminate period of time, and then we were going to do the cafe?
It was an indeterminate period of time.
Okay. Friday will then do a prepare for your next activity as their montage.
Sure.
Specifically with the idea of recovering all the burnt tags in the Apple mythos.
Okay.
This is what that activity looks like. Friday will call for a car. This one will be a little bit different. It will be prepared with an additional suit that has been picked up previously from a specified location. There will be one bottle and glass filled with ice ready to go. They will get in the car. They will pour themselves some Applejack, drink one glass, go to a motel, a different one than Friday sent Jed to.
Mm-hmm.
They will take a shower. They will get cleaned up. They will groom. They will put on most of the clothes, but not the jacket, nor the hat, nor strap on the gun again. And then they will get in the car after this is all done and pay the driver to just drive around the city for a couple hours while Friday sleeps.
Interesting. Do you return to the same apartment to pick up the hat, gun, and jacket? Or do you bring them with you in the car?
I bring them.
Okay.
I bring them with me and leave the rest of the place, as is, and then I will make another call to a cleaner, and I will ask them to clean the location.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, you do that. That is your montage. So we see basically a supercut of that, right? Where it's like, a panel comes up and it's like a steamy shower, and then a panel comes up of like the shirt getting buttoned, and then the driving around, and then we see the slash cut underneath in this comic page of 4 gentlemen coming in white like jumpers that are like zipped up and cleaning out this apartment or this hotel room. Very like the beginning of John Wick, right? Like the guys that are cleaning up, like that kind of style.
Totally.
And then yeah, I think we smash cut to a scene of Judd, who is in a very like supernatural-esque motel, right? Where it has like the tchotchkes on the walls. There's like a shitty table with like the central leg and like one chintzy chair. There's the 2 beds. One of them has magic fingers, and he's in the magic finger bed. And there's hanging next to him is the pole with an IV bag. And there's like one of like the shiny metal like kidney shaped tins that has a few pieces of bloody paraphernalia that has removed the bullet from Judd, or no, I think the bullet was removed, but it fixes the stitching in Judd and makes it like actually medically sound sutures.
There we go.
and then Judd is snoozing uncomfortably in this chintzy motel, and then we cut to the 3 cars: the black car called for Molly, the black car that is called for Friday, and Artemis. What are you pulling up in?
I think Artemis rented a car to take them to the club.
What kind of car?
White, fancy, not like bajillionaire, but very nice car. Maybe let's go with like an SUV, a big, nice, classy SUV.
Okay,
it's got seats for everybody in the back.
Yeah,
as a driver.
I like it. So like a white, like a white Cadillac. XT something. XT5? That sounds right.
Sure.
That sounds
something along those lines.
That sounds like a a fancy-ish car. Yeah, like a Cadillac XT5. That's a decent car. A decent van. Or if you're the bougie mom van.
Bougie mom van.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, you roll up in this Cadillac to the Once Around the Block donut shop. Inside are Molly. Getting out of the black car is Friday, about to step in, and you kind of pull up as the last one there. You all enter into this fine coffee and donut establishment. See each other, see your usual table, so to speak, and the scene is yours. What are you doing?
Hand the kid off to not be so
Dumb.
obnoxious.
So Friday goes in first.
Friday walks right up, passes over a $100 bill, orders a couple of coffees
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of donuts and a dozen donuts, just random donuts. Doesn't matter. Bring them to the table, the cream and sugar, and the donuts, and don't let anyone else disturb us. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
There's another 100 in you, 100 for you, if we don't get bugged.
I'm not gonna bug you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Freddy turns and immediately walks over to a booth.
And you see immediately like there's like that like sound of a bill snapping, and then like you see them look at the thing, and then they reach in their pocket and they pull out a black marker, pop the cap, and then write a slash across it, and then they look back to you, and you see them quickly like crumple it up and put it in their pocket.
Like, oh, this is real.
That's a real bill. And then you see immediately coffees are poured on little saucers. There's a tray. You've never seen a tray before. They produce a tray, put the coffees on the tray. There's plates. You've never seen those before either. The donuts are served on plates, and they bring it over. And the entire time it's that rattle of like a tea set. Clink, 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 as they bring it over to the three of you at this table. Art and Molly, you see this 16, 15-year-old kid, pimple-faced, red hair, suspenders, green bow tie, matching the rest of the uniforms here, just shaking this tray. Again, you've never seen a tray before, bringing over 3 coffees and a dozen random donuts to you guys. And he, like, the entire time, like, he gets there and then, like, immediately looks down and just sort of, like, places the whole tray and then backs away awkwardly and then turns and walks back behind the counter.
I'm not even gonna ask what you said to that poor boy. She just looks at Friday, takes the coffee, starts sipping on it.
Kitty, you're
So-
muted.
Molly's gonna give the kid like the nastiest look. Still holding a grudge from the last time that he didn't know what Americano was.
They only serve coffee. It's
She's gonna
Seattle's
sit-
best.
And stare at him, waiting for everybody to get settled.
Yeah, the Artemis will push the cream and sugar over to Molly because that'll be as close as it gets for her.
It is that too. It's like the creamers, right? It's like diner creamers and like
Oh,
Sweet
yeah.
and Low, Splenda. There's no like almond milk. There's no nothing fancy on this. It doesn't even have like, it's not even sugar in the raw. It's nothing like that. It's just Splenda, Sweet and Low, and a white packet that just says sugar.
I think and Molly's gonna like. I'm gonna guess that there's donut holes in this variety of donuts that we got.
Sure.
And she's just gonna like take her finger and like pierce it and eat it from her finger claw,
Love it.
Oh.
all while staring.
You see Molly eat donuts by sticking her fingered claw in them, the same fingers that she stuck in people yesterday. So just, a fun fact that you all notice.
Just gonna raise an eyebrow and then look over to Friday.
Freddy's
What
not
do you-
phased at all.
Going into this, getting this conversation started will be the easier part of this. However, I don't want to tip our cards. I don't want to... What do you think we should be asking my father? Him and I tend to get into it, and I'd like to go in with a readied, steadied head. What do you think, Friday?
If I'm being honest, I honestly have no clue. There are so many things that we don't seem to understand here. There are so many threads that we have yet to pull, and yet I feel like we're close. One piece of information could change everything. But I have a feeling that your father will not have the patience to suffer fools.
Yeah. Well, I think going in there, asking why he hasn't answered my calls, my texts, where my brother is, could be a good starter, but
going past that, it's gonna get sticky.
What is the value of asking your father directly about your brother?
I don't know. We know that they were in the office together at some point. We don't know if that's when Sam met his demise. We never really got approximations on exactly where he fell from. No wonder. I don't know if getting to Polly is the best way to go. Try and talk to him. But my dad has a habit of putting Polly under his thumb, and well, getting between the two of them gets difficult.
If he was willing to attract that level of attention in order to help his friend Ermi, your father might have something meaningful to be able to tell us. Or he might be sweeping it under the rug and not wanting the do-gooder sister to be involved.
Yeah. I don't know if telling him I'm quitting my job will be the good move or a bad move. I don't know if it's the only thing that's been protecting me from certain things, or God, who knows?
Sorry, I just saw the donuts. I apologize.
It's mixed bag. I don't know if I should go in by myself, maybe leave this phone on so you can hear what I'm talking about, and then have you guys come over if I need backup. Maybe I'll get more honesty from him, maybe I won't. Either way, I got a table booked, and as close as I could. He keeps himself surrounded pretty well.
Then they're going to know if we're listening. Look, I don't know what your father specifically is connected to. From my understanding, his hands are as clean as possibly can be and still be with dirty friends. He's going to know.
What if I bring my leaving the PD, starting my own business? Perhaps things I haven't really thought about. Angle it from the fact that I want to also be involved in his charitable aspects. Maybe I could get more information on these girls. Do you think that's a thread worth going after? Or do you think bringing up the two of those things at the same time could be showing your hand?
Friday looks at Artemis and says, I think that's a question actually for Molly. You seemed to have been witness to what Judd found on that film. What do you think about these women based on what? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I step back because that's actually something that she wasn't a part of. She wasn't a part of the conversation with Delia. Shit.
No, we told her about it though.
But yeah, feel free to fill her in.
But yeah, fill me in because I.
Well, so
fill her in because she wasn't actually there.
well, so Friday would continue that line. Then Friday would basically say, "You saw what was on the film. We had a conversation with Delia. You know what she told us about them. What do you think?"
I mean, it's all still kind of foggy for me. Well, that's a drink, you know. But I think we shouldn't leave anything unturned.
I got a bag in the car. It's got extra clothes in it, some that should fit three of us in any variety of time if we need to look different. There's an extra weapon in there, some tools. It's gonna stay in the car, which will be in the parking lot with the driver, but he can be dismissed at any moment. If it gets too hot in there and you feel like you need to go without me, go without me.
I don't think my presence there is going to make things any better. Your father is going to know who I am. He's going to know what I'm involved in. He's also going to know that if you are working with the likes of me, that you already have left your job. And I imagine that he knows all of these things and why you're coming to talk to him.
I put the reservation under your name. I was planning on walking in late, maybe beelining for his table. I'm not completely new to some of this, Friday.
Molly's gonna lean over.
We'll just have a date together Friday and Artie can show up late.
Yeah. Order whatever you want. It's covered. She'll just shake her head like, oh gosh.
All right. But I guarantee you, me starting this conversation won't go well. Your father is not going to tolerate fools. And he is not going to answer my questions. Because I represent somebody beneath him.
But what if we go in and we listen and we wait for Artie?
It's my thought to start. I can
He doesn't have to know we have anything to do or care with him.
shuffle my hair if I think things are too hot and I want backup. But
Look, I will walk in that door if you think that it's going to make a difference. And they look over to Molly. He already knows who I am. He already knows who you are. He already knows who you work for. He knows what involvement you might have in all of those things. This is a situation where they, speaking specifically of he and his friends, have all the cards. The only thing we can hope for is to catch him off guard long enough to have him tell us something that makes a difference.
well, that's why I'm dressed the way I am.
All right.
She sighs, finishing coffee. I'm gonna go run to the restroom and then I'm ready to go. The longer we wait, well, you know.
Okay. I'm ready to go. This coffee's terrible. It's like hot piss water.
You hear like the clink of cups from behind the register, and like if anyone's eye draws over there, you see the kid duck down behind the two bun equipment burners. Oh.
Well then, let's do this.
So,
Friday slips the kid another 100.
okay. Artemis, are you slipping off to the bathroom for anything illicit, or are you just slipping in, slipping out, and you're hopping in the XT5 and headed down?
Slipping in, slipping out. I want to take a look at my go bag.
Okay. It has everything you think's in there. What do you think is in there?
I want to give Friday my old phone. The GPS is going to have been disabled, and wear a flower that is a listening device so he can hear my conversation with my father.
Interesting. Okay. So it sounds like the plan is that you're going in first. They're waiting in the car, and they are providing backup. Should it need?
I think they should go in first.
Okay.
And Art should come in last separately.
Okay.
And the plan is that we are actually going to a different table.
Yes, it's close, but it's maybe a row or two away. She couldn't get you a table right next to you.
Sure.
Okay. So you have a reservation for these two, and then you're just gonna walk up to your dad because you know he golfs at this time every day, right? Is that
Yeah.
what? Okay.
That he's having brunch.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Have you been to this country club before?
I would assume definitely as a kid, and probably was, while Art mostly focused on her job, she would show up to random events, either see who her father was hanging out with, if her brother was there, who showed up. Random charity events, random events that her father threw. When she wasn't working, she would show up, but not necessarily every time.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, so yeah, what you know about this place. I feel like, Molly, you'd be aware of it, but I don't think you've been here. Yeah, I don't think you've been here. And Friday, is this your cup of tea? Would you have been to this place? This is like, so let me just paint the picture here. This is like gated community country club kind of place. Like, this is like, you have to be, you're on a list to get a membership. And to be on the list, you have to be vouched for by a current member who's been a member for a tenured member for X number of years, right? Most of the memberships are passed down in lineages. So yeah,
Friday would have been here for a charity event where they were actually doing some work, brokering a deal, beginning to build a relationship, that kind of a thing. There would have been a specific goal or purpose. And Friday would have only spent as much time as they needed to stay, for the job to be done, and then would leave.
Got it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you all know that this place is called the Club at Admiral's Cove. The club is located in the Federal Hill district of New Arkham City. Friday and Artemis for sure, maybe Molly. You know that the Federal Hill district is like old money Italian section of town. And when I say old money Italian, that is the once and forever throne of the Italian mafia in all of this New England area. That's where it was. That's where it is now. It's shifted, but everyone knows that like the Italians run the Federal Hill section. Every restaurant there has ties back to some family that's been a family, quote unquote, for a while now. And the club at Admiral's Cove is on the eastern side of this Federal Hill district. It is on the water. It features its own 18-hole green. There is no back nine. You play all 18 of them. It has its own private marina and a massive indoor country club with a multiple hundreds of people staff. This place is enormous. And you pull up there in this Escalade, or not this Escalade, this XT5. Yes, Friday.
I have one question about the private marina. Is it on the river, or is it actually connected to some larger body of water?
It is connected to the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I guess I'm wrong. It is connected to the Miskatonic that leads to the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. It is a large marina. So Artemis, you pull up in the XT5. Now, are you pulling up with everyone and letting the valet take your car, and then you guys are all kind of walking in separately? What's your plan here?
So we have a driver, so I'm going to sit in the row in front. I'm going to put Friday and Molly in the back. Let the two of them out, go park somewhere relatively near in case shit hits the fan for some reason, though she's not expecting it. And then Artemis is going to walk in later from the parking lot.
Okay, so the camera follows Molly and Friday as you two walk up the crushed seashell gravel walkway up this place, lined by very well manicured bushes and flower arrangements to this all white kind of building, right? There's what the hell do you call those things? They're like the freestanding pillars that you'd see in like Rome, that kind of thing, that kind of line the front entryway until you get to the overhang. And you see that everyone is dressed in like white on white with the black tie kind of look. Everyone has the exact same kind of outfit. And you see there is a brunch being served. And this is not like your chintzy, like, serve yourself buffet brunch. This is a very classy brunch. Like they're having like lobster eggs Benedict with like a huge lobster tail on the eggs Benedict. It's over the top. It is opulence. As you walk in, and there is a a waitstaff. He is the only one in black, and he has like basically a less formal tuxedo, if you can kind of picture that, with the whole like he has the napkin over the arm and standing there just holding it for who knows how long, and he he looks to you both and says, "Name, please."
What name did you leave it under, Artemis? Friday?
I feel like there would have been an agreed upon thing. I don't know. You pick.
Charles Winchester III.
Beautiful.
He looks at you. You see him slide the napkin off to reveal that he has like a 5-inch like wristlet that has a screen on it, and you see him just swipe it like a phone. The third. And he puts the napkin back over it. This way. And he turns on a heel, and you can hear that crisp click, click as he walks across the floor, this marbled floor. And he leads you to a table. It is a small, round table. 2 very nice, again, opulent sort of chairs here. High-backed, armed, like captain's chairs almost. And he motions to your chair and walks around and looks at Molly and slides her chair out for her, waiting for her to sit down.
While this is all going on, Friday will be basically paying attention to every situation that's going on, every group of people that are there together, everybody who is around walking individually, looking at the weight, who's eating, who's not, who's drinking what, basically working the room in such a way to understand where's the threats and where are the allies, and who is neither.
Got it. Okay.
So I'd like to do an investigate roll.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me an investigate roll.
All right. So you're going to hate me, but I'm going to start with student of human behavior.
Let me look at your things. I don't know if that would be applicable for what you've just explained. Like you're looking for a who's who of like who are these people. So how they're behaving doesn't really tell you who they are. The system might tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take the system.
Well, definitely friends everywhere.
I'll take that as well.
So, yeah, this is one of those situations where I think, let's see. So bear with me on this one for just a second. This is where
Sure.
Fagin comes in.
Okay.
Fagin
Explain.
so Fagin is the power tag specifically representing the sort of mentor group of kids being run by essentially a fence or a fixer or somebody who sells and manages things, right? So unlike the student of human behavior, this would be a situation where this person would be teaching specifically who's a mark. Who are you going to be able to steal from and walk away with, from without being a problem? Who are you going to have to contend with specifically because they're going to catch you? Who do you want to avoid because they're carrying a big stick or a gun or worse?
Got it. Okay, I'll buy that.
All right. So we got 3. Do you want to invoke anything?
No, I think you're good.
I'm going to invoke, I think, a question of loyalty.
Why?
Because somebody in this room, most of the people in this room who have any connection to the underworld are going to know of me.
Got it. Done. Invoke it.
All right. So that's 3 attention on that, on the right-hand man. So just FYI. 'Cause
Okay.
We invoked it earlier. All right. So, and I am going to investigate.
Hit me with that investigation.
Did it roll there? And I missed.
Cool. So, on a miss, some shit goes sideways for you.
Looking forward to it.
On
We
a
didn't hit the
miss.
corruption bar yet, did we?
We didn't even hit it yet. Yeah, no, the corruption bar is still going. Wink, wink. So on a miss. So So yeah, you walk in and your beady little eyes are just darting around the room as subtly as possible. This garçon, he pulls out the chair, lets Molly sit in, and as she's lowering down into the seat, he pushes it underneath her and slides her gracefully underneath the chair. He takes a sidestep around, again, still napkin arm out. He looks to you, Friday, and says, "Your waiter will be right with you." And he takes a step back from the table, turns on his heel, and you see him walk back silently to his post. It's about 2-3 minutes of you two sitting there before a waiter comes to see you. I assume in this time, Friday, you're kind of looking around the room. What you see is a mixed bag. It is a who's who of everyone you want and don't want it to be. The kind of people that are here on a weekend, are the same kind of people, but less of them, that you would expect at a gala or a charity event of somewhere. The mayor of New Arkham City is here. The state governor is here. The police chief commissioner is here. You see someone that has vague features that look like Artemis, which you assume would be her father, because I don't remember if you've seen him or not. You see that there are not Vidalis, but there are other members of other crime families that are here. There is Frank Cianci is here. You see, I'll give you a rundown of the criminals here. But yeah, there are a bunch of criminals that you all expect to be here Friday, or that maybe you don't want to see here. But they're all here. They're all dressed in their brunch best, and they're all enjoying their day, their weekend on the green.
I'm terrible that I'm going to actually mention this while you're explaining all of this, but apparently we hit the corruption bar.
Oh, cool. Well,
it'll be good for when I show up. I'm sure that will be great.
We'll hold on to that. We'll hold on to that. Yeah. I like that. Cool. So you see there's a few people with nicknames here that you know from, your family days.
Right.
So like that's what sticks out to you, right? It's like you see like these workaday like politicians. You see like someone's there with like a white fox fur around them, right? Like this is the hoity-toity upper class crust of Paradise City, and you see them casually mingling with known mafioso, as if this is a normal thing for them, because perhaps it is. But yeah, you see all of that. And a few eyes catch yours, is what I will say. As you're looking around, you get this information that this is kind of happening around you, and you see more than a few eyes catch yours, and then look away and look back, and then continue what they're doing. You have been recognized by more than one family here. What that means for you, I guess we'll find out. But you and Molly are seated at this table. What are the two of you doing while Artemis is biding her time?
Molly is soaking it in. She loves it. She loves having like a lush moment, especially something as grand as this, and she's just playing it up. She's sitting up straight and she's ordering the most expensive thing that she can think of.
Her Americano too.
Yeah, and it's kind of like not really thinking about what they should be thinking about, because she's just sort of lost in the lush of everything.
You get the most perfect Americano. You get the Americano, and the first thing you feel is like, oh, this isn't made right. And then you're like, oh, shit. Every other one I've ever had hasn't been made right. And this is the best. This is the best one I've ever had.
It's just like my heaven.
Oh, man. Also, I love some of the names for these mafioso that I'm finding.
Now she's definitely going to figure out how to marry into the family.
Oh, yeah. She's going to marry your dad. You need a stepmom, is what it is.
Is dad married? I don't remember.
Well, guess we'll find out.
Season 2.
Yes.
All kinds of awkward.
Season 2. So, Friday, I have to ask, you know that you've been noticed.
Yep.
How does that change your attitude, if at all, here? Like, you see Molly is soaking this in, like as if she's at the beach, just taking it in, right? And she's enjoying this Americano. The waiter comes by. You know, you guys can order whatever you want off the menu. As Artemis said, everything's been taken care of. But how are you feeling right now? You know you're a fish out of water here. People are knowing you, and you don't really want to be known here.
Well, Friday already set the stage a little bit for this when they expressed the whole we're walking into a situation where everybody has control and we don't, and they're going to know us and we're not going to know them necessarily.
Yep.
And as that's going, Friday really isn't all that emotionally phased. There's a certain level of fatalism that they've accepted in this sort of circumstance. But Friday will lean forward and say to Molly, I don't have any friends in this room. I also don't know who's against us. How are you doing?
Well, you've got at least one friend. You've got me here, Friday. It's fine. I mean, do you really need anybody else? Most of these people have sticks shoved up their ass so far you won't ever find it again. I think that you should just relax.
And I will, and I know that you are enjoying your Americano. But honestly, if you know anybody in this room, and you can trust them, I'd find them quickly, because we are in a lot of trouble.
The moment Molly says stick up their ass, several people look. They snap. Like it's so fast you heard a neck crack. They snap, and then you see them like sip coffee or a Bellini, right? And then they turn back. They do one of these.
Is there a lot of pinkies?
Oh, there's pink. Everyone, pinkies out. They're drinking mimosas. There's Bellinis out here. There's espressos. There's the whole thing. And there's like the snap, and then there's one of these. The whole roll, the shoulder roll back to the conversation. Like, I know you saw what I just saw. Trash.
And I also just feel like the husbands are probably nervous looking because I'm sure they've been to the club before. They're like,
oh God,
yeah,
she's here. I remember that one act she did where I can't talk about that.
It was 9 Inch Nails, and I'd never heard of a 9 Inch Nail before, and then I heard all of it.
Now I listen to that song when I'm alone.
You're all secretly in love with her. It's fine.
They're definitely trying not to look at your tits.
I feel like
Molly is gonna look around the room, and can I do an investigate to see if there is anybody that she knows or might have seen at one of Vidalis's parties? Or from the club that would be prominent?
Yeah. Go right ahead. What do you think you should roll for?
She's going to use access to secrets.
Okay.
CI.
Okay.
I don't think, and I would say connections in the dark, but I don't know if.
I think that could apply.
Okay, so I'll use those three then.
Okay, and let me see. Let me just double check what we have for your weakness tags. Miss Molly McGee. No. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do the Scarlet Letter. You are a brazen little strumpet, and people are beginning to notice. Yeah, so roll me that with a.
I love it.
So yeah, you have a +3 with a -1, and go ahead and roll that investigate for me.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. You did nail it.
Nice.
So I believe that should be a power 2. Why did that not work? Let me see. Do you have anything wonky going on here? Anyway, that should be a power 2. We'll clear that real quick. So yeah, you have 2 clues that you can ask me in this moment.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. Is there anybody here that she would know that she would feel like
that
not almost as a friend, but maybe a client?
A client. Yeah. You know a handful of people that are here. They are at a table. They're not Vidalis's men, but you know that they're of another family. In fact, you see a man you probably given the way you address people, he's Mr. G is probably what you would call him, not to be mistaken by Mr. Gold. His name is Mr. Gulamedi. He is of a different family. Johnny, if you see Molly paying attention to this table, you've also recognized this name. He goes by Good Looking Maddie, is his street name. Go ahead. You look like you have a question.
I do have a question, but I'm going to let you finish,
Okay.
and then I'll ask the question.
So you see Mr. G, and he is at a table with two of his men that you've seen around the club, and you know that is Salvatore Marino, no relation, and Louis Denunzio. They are all from Boston, down here for some reason, perhaps a meeting. You're not really sure. So you see those gentlemen. You're aware of who they are. They don't have a grudge against you. Whether you consider them friends or not, those are the only people you recognize here.
Okay. Does she, other than like the few ladies that are being snooty, does she notice anybody that is eyeing her in more than just a thirsty way?
Ooh, that's a good question. Do you know anyone that is eyeing you in more than a thirsty way? Yes. For a second, you catch a glimpse of a young woman, probably 26, 27-ish. You see her like peeking out from behind something, and then quickly is gone. And if you weren't mistaken, that looks like one of the girls in the photo.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's what
Boy.
you see. Friday, you had a question real quick?
This is gonna be bad.
This is going to be bad. Good looking Maddie. Was he one of the people that looked disparagingly at Friday? Or with difference?
He looked like he knew you.
Did he look at me, look away, and then look back, and then never look?
Correct.
That's one of those. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Great.
You know that good looking Maddie does not work for I lost his name. The main guy, Mr. Vidalis. He does not work for Carmine or Vidalis. Giuseppe Vidalis. What is his name? Anatoly Vidalis. All the Italian names. He does not work for Anatoly Vidalis. He works for Carmen Denunzio. You also know that Carmen Denunzio goes by the Cheese Man.
So she's gonna turn back.
I mean, I know, well, a few acquaintances, I suppose you could call here. You know, some people that like to visit the club.
And she's gonna.
Anyone that is not looking for just entertainment?
She's gonna glance back at Mr. G.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen, and don't stare at nothing.
She's gonna kind of tilt her head in the direction of their table.
I've seen him around a few times. Had a couple conversations with him. He was pretty friendly, you know.
But most boys are.
If this goes badly, seek his help.
Right. You know, and I will give you this for free because of your connections. Good-looking Maddie is an underboss for Denunzio. He also moves weight, as the young kids say. So he is, not a good guy, one could say. Yes. But that's what you know about him. Whether Molly knows that about him is a different story. That's kind of, I'll leave that to Molly for what secrets she's picked up in the clubs. But you know that he moves quantities of weight.
Like I said, that my statement stands for Friday. If anything goes down, go to him.
Okay. So I think the brunch goes on for a little while before Artemis enters. Before we go in, I would like to know, what did you two order for brunch?
Oh, God.
Actually, I wanted to know what was on the menu. I even specified asking that in chat, just so that maybe we'd actually get like the donut menu as well.
Oh, okay. Let me just Google bougie brunch menu. But it's whatever you think, right? So it's definitely a bougie brunch place. I mean, I don't know. When I think brunch, I pretty much only ordered eggs Benedict. So I don't know. I don't know what else they have. There's like steak. There's like like eggs and steak. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's crepes aplenty. Belgian waffles of like they make them on. They bring a cart over and they make Belgian waffles right there, and then serve you a smoking hot Belgian waffle kind of thing. Yeah. 100%. So whatever you can imagine for a brunch menu, that's what's on it. So what do you order?
Molly, you want to go first?
Molly has ordered the eggs Benedict with the lobster tail because she loves lobster.
Perfect.
And it seems really fancy to her.
Yeah. And it is. It's like a homemade English muffin, right? Mm-hmm. With like the egg and the whole, and then the lobster tail like comes out of the hollandaise sauce, like sticking out of it, like a shrimp cocktail kind of thing.
She also has a Bloody Mary, which is fitting.
Perfect. Love it.
Maybe some potato hash.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Friday would order a simple omelet, a waffle, and some applesauce. And nothing to drink.
Is it like one of the French omelets that's just like the slow cooked egg that's just egg rolled up? It's like
right. It's like folded under, like got the center. It's like folded under.
That's all of the omelets. They only come that way, with a dollop of creme fraiche and some finely chopped chives just placed on top of that. And then there's like some kind of reduction with like a smear on the side of the plate with like 2 drops to give it that like artsy kind of thing. And then when you get like the applesauce, the same thing. It's like homemade. There's like chunks of apple in it. The whole 9 yards for this fresh pressed orange juice. Yeah. So you guys begin to eat your lavish brunch as everyone in chat drools. At which point, Artemis, it's been a period of time in which you feel comfortable entering. Describe your entrance here.
Artemis is just gonna walk in like she owns the place.
Perfect.
I don't know if there's like a membership card or whatever, but I assume she would have some sort of.
So you walk up, and again, there's this waiter, this garçon. He's here, standing there the same way, arm up. He has the napkin over the top. He looks at you and says, "Name, please."
Marino. I think I know where I'm headed. Just gonna tap him and slide a 50 into his hands and just walk straight past him.
He starts to protest, but then feels the 50 slide in, and he says, "Have a good day, Miss Marino." And he like lowers his arm just a little bit, puts his hand back down by his side, and continues to stare out the door.
And I think he would do a double take because he would normally recognize the Marinos, but I don't look like I normally do. And he goes, "Wait a sec. Oh, that is her."
For a 50, he's less inquiring.
I'm a little surprised that you only slipped him a 50, honestly.
Oh, you gotta work him up at the golf club. It's fine. I know too much about golf clubs. My brother played golf all of my childhood.
Says Friday, who gave a 15-year-old coffee boy $200.
$200.
That's a week pay at a coffee shop.
Yeah. He's calling in tomorrow. He doesn't need the money. He wants to play video games in his underwear.
Go home and play some Fortnite.
He quit on the spot. Like once you left, he quit. So
all right, I'm going to hold you to that because I want to know who shows up as the new employee. Then.
Okay, I'll write that down. So Artemis, you walk past this guy. There's a moment of protestation where he's like, and then kind of lets you go. You know that your father likes the same booth, and members that have been here long enough, they have their preferred seating. It is unofficially reserved for them. And if it's not, people are asked to move, that kind of thing. The Marino name is of the same bent. So you see your father there. However, he is eating with 2 business associates. You would assume they're here for brunch and then to go game on the 18 holes and discuss matters of import. But you see them having a cordial conversation over a massive amount of food. To which we get to describe your father for the first time. I think this is the first time we've actually seen him on camera, besides seeing the nameplate on a desk. He's a wide man, but like wide in like a imposing fashion, right? He's not a fat guy. He's definitely like built like a brick house. He's wide, but in a muscular kind of sense. He has those big nut cracking kind of hands. You know what I'm talking about. And he has the peppered sides with the slicked back black kind of hair. And he is in a relatively nice suit, probably like a nice a navy blue, with a waistcoat and a tie. Of course, he has the tie kind of flipped over backwards, so as to not get some kind of sauce on it. You wouldn't want to look gauche at the country club here. And he is digging into several sides of food while talking animatedly with his two business companions, and doesn't even notice you walk up.
And I feel like he's the kind of guy, he has an open chair, but usually it requires an invite.
Yeah, for sure.
He runs into somebody he wasn't expecting.
Yeah, and someone
Artemis
always brings an open chair.
Yeah. Artemis is going to grab the chair. She knows where it's located. Plop it down, not very subtly, and sit down. And give her father, and just sit down very properly and primly, and let him take in the fact that she looks just like her mother right now.
I think for a second, the two associates that are with him, like, they see you coming, and they're, like, not sure if, like, now's a good time to interrupt him. Then they see you, like, brazenly grab a chair, and they get, like, markedly more nervous, and you plop down, and your father, like, has a fork in the air with food on it, a hand out gesticulating something, sees you, stops, looks back at you again, puts the food down, and just, like, that disappointed, he crosses his hands. Artemis?
Father, if you answered your phone, I wouldn't have to do this.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
Been calling you, texting you for a few days now, and I know you're busy. Hi, she kind of waves gently to the gentleman.
They both
Sorry.
they both look back and forth, and then like nervously at your clearly like clenched jaw father, and they, hi.
I do apologize for interrupting, but I needed to catch up with you, and it was too important to wait. She just smiles at him like, this is your fault.
There's a weird power exchange that happens at the table where your father leans across with both hands and sort of slides their plates away from them like an inch and a half and says, "I'll meet you on the green." And just sort of motions for them to get out of the booth. And they kind of like look back and forth again, and then they just quietly slide out. And as they make it like past the entry attendant, you see them start to like whisper back and forth to each other, like "What the fuck happened?" kind of thing. And you are left there with your father. He says, "What is it that you needed to speak to me about?"
Where's my brother? His phone's not working. I can't get a hold of him. This she taps the table. Has nothing to do with work. I just need to talk with him.
And what makes you think that I would know where he is?
We've been seen together most recently of the people I've talked to, in the trail of people I've talked to trying to find him, so...
Is he in some kind of trouble that I need to be aware of?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Have you tried any of the houses of any of his whores?
She rolls her eyes. I checked with his girlfriend. Nothing.
Just
She
one.
hasn't.
Time.
Apparently, Polly is thinking about settling down and becoming a grown-up. Crazy.
That'll be the day.
No.
What about his scumbag friends? Perhaps he's crashing on one of their flop houses.
I wouldn't be here if I hadn't tried what I could try, Father.
Well, you are a cop after all. I'm sure your resources are vast.
She says,
Oh,
looks at him.
there's like an uptick. There's like a weird uptick of hope with that O, were a cop, Artemis?
I'm still figuring out the details, deciding exactly what I'm gonna do, but you know.
Are you finally considering taking your rightful place in the family business, or are you still on a walkabout?
I am curious about the charity aspects, the things you do as far as that goes. It's seems like a smart transition for me. Start there, see how it goes.
Well, we have and he you see him lift a napkin, like a napkin, and he picks up his phone underneath it and then puts it back down. We could have an opening as head of philanthropic resources if you're interested.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm sure you got guys and gals that run that shit for you. They should teach me before I, take over. I'm not, I want to do this the right way. And I'm also considering opening up my own business on the side. But like I said, figuring out those details.
Interesting. The entrepreneurial gene does apparently travel to you. I was hoping that you would eventually choose this path, unlike your brother, who is destined for, I don't know, an overdose.
Like I said, guess we're growing up, changing our paths, figuring out what works in this city and what doesn't. She raises an eyebrow.
Who would have thought? And you come to me for not a job or a handout, but for the location of your errant brother.
Looking for him. Figured I'd mention the charity thing to you as well. See if there was anybody I should start talking to in that pursuit.
Well, we can set up a meeting. You can meet me at the Yamashiro Building, and we can discuss the philanthropic resources that you may have.
Well, do you have that?
Well,
coming out of this from...
It's only a matter of time, really. But your brother...
Yeah, I know despite all of his things, you usually take care of his cell phone, etc. It's disconnected.
Well, I'd like to know when he turns up in a gutter somewhere. Can't have him disconnected from all reality. You said his phone is disconnected.
Yeah. Last time I gave it a call, they said this does not work anymore.
He moves the napkin and slides the phone out, and you see him hit and punch in the pin, and then scroll through his call log to "son" is how it's written in there, and he hits send on the call button, and it rings and rings and rings and rings and goes to a voicemail. Hey, you've reached Polly. I'm not here right now, so you know what to do with the beep. Beep. Ha. Boop. Then he hangs up and says it appears to be working just fine.
Well, I will give that another go then.
Perhaps he's not interested in speaking with you, Artemis. Are you on the outs with him?
Him and I are fine as far as I know. I haven't tried to arrest him for anything in a while. Just making sure, same as you, not in a gutter, not she sighs, hanging out with too much of the wrong folk. Only so much I can control and have my own life.
There's I hesitate to use the word establishment, but there's a place that he frequented. And you see him scrolling through his phone again for a second time. He kind of swipes it to the left. You see him open the new Arkham News app, and he spins the phone towards you. There's a place he frequented that seems to have been attacked by some kind of hooligans. There was a series of explosions and a car chase and a gunfight. Perhaps that is a lead for you? And you see that there is a news article about the events at the Tartarus last night, where there were apparently several electrical fires, an explosion or two, a car chase that ended in a crash, and an exchange of gunfire between unknown parties that all seem to have been missing once the cops finally arrived, allegedly.
Artemis can't help but smile when she sees the article. Yeah. Cry and shame. Seems like there was quite a bit of trouble there, wasn't there?
It does seem that way.
It very much was, and that's all she's gonna say.
And he, like, slides the phone back, spins it back, and, like, sort of tucks it underneath the napkin.
Things have changed.
I feel like you're not just here for your brother's location. You've never looked this hard for him. What is he involved in, Artemis?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. And
what are you working on?
She pauses for a second. I'm making sure that he wasn't involved in the murder of the most prominent PI in town.
You see a look sort of flash across your dad's face. Just the barest hint of some kind of emotion that you're not used to seeing at all, which is usually any kind of emotion. But there's a twinge of, like, recognition when you say that. And he looks to you and says, the Spade case was closed. It was suicide, wasn't it? Your department closed it.
Yeah, my department closes a lot of things that they never should have. It's part of why I've left. And I am here trying to find out where Polly is with the insurance, that something that places him near Sam Spade around the time he died. Well, it could come back to me or it could go somewhere else. But until I can get a hold of Polly, until I can clear that he's not actually involved in this, it's probably somewhere you don't want it.
He takes a moment, and you can see his jaw clench and unclench and clench and unclench for a second. And he does the same kind of maneuver with the plate. He slides his plate like 1.5 inches away from himself. And he puts one arm on, like, the I imagine they're in a booth, right? He places one arm on the side of the booth closest to you and begins to edge his way out of the booth. And as he gets to the end of the booth, he looks to you and says, well, I haven't seen your brother. But if I do, I'll let him know that you're looking for him. In the meantime, I have business to conduct. And he places a hand on your shoulder.
If I know this much, I'm not even working with who I normally work with. Somebody else is either ahead of me or already knows. If you want damage control, you gotta help me. She looks up at him earnestly.
He kind of gives you, like, a squeeze on the shoulder and says, we'll be in touch. And he walks out to the green. What you notice is that there is still a phone under the napkin.
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna take that, slide it into pocket of my sweater, somewhere safe. Artemis, I'm gonna assume there's a bar. There's always a bar at a golf club.
Yeah, there's a bar. There's a wet bar, but, like, it's no one's working it right now because it's brunch. But you're at the Marino's table, and you can kind of just put a hand up, and someone will come over to you. Alternatively, there are several half-drinking drinks on the table that you could just unceremoniously down.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll grab Daddy Dearest's drink.
Mm-hmm.
Have a nice gulp, assuming it's some fine bourbon.
It is, yeah. You know, it's
something.
He's the kind of guy that drinks bourbon at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he does.
So there is a bourbon and there's two Bellinis on the table, and you can down that bourbon. On the other side of the room, Friday and Molly, you see this exchange happening. Although I believe one of you can hear it because Molly turned her phone on. So it's at least recording or something like that, I believe, in one of your pockets.
Yeah.
So you two see the exchange happen. You see the two awkward business associates kind of leave. You see this exchange back and forth. You see him leave, and you see Artemis look a little dejected, and then down a glass of bourbon. What are you two doing?
Well, Molly's on her second drink.
Of course.
Her second Americano or second Bloody Mary?
Her second
Bloody
She
Mary.
had the Americano, and it was so sweet that she didn't want to have another one, and it tarnished the greatness that was that Americano. She may never drink an Americano again.
I will say that the waiter refused to give you a pitcher of Bloody Mary, but it's individual glasses.
I just got a little bit of class.
Yeah.
Come on.
Are they tall highball glasses or are they hurricane glasses?
No, they're the highball. They're a classy highball with a thick bottom base. You know.
All right.
I mean, the brunch places around me that aren't bougie do have pictures of margarita or pictures of Bloody Marys. So
Some of the bougie places have it, but it's got to have like a chicken hanging off the side.
oh yeah, it's got
with
like a
all
whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
the whole second meal. Yeah. What do you get?
So you're on your second drink.
Mm-hmm. Molly's just been chatting away. She's not being overly suspicious or,
Okay.
obviously since people are listening.
Friday will definitely be taking in the room as they're listening to the conversation as best as they possibly can.
Mm-hmm. He has a loud, booming voice, but over the din of the restaurant, you don't get a lot of details about what the conversation is about. You understand that from what you can kind of read is that Artemis is carrying through with what she said she was going to carry through with, asking where her brother was, saying she left the force, talking about philanthropy. And you can hear his responses more or less saying that he doesn't know where the brother is, that she can come find him and set up a meeting during the week about the philanthropic endeavors. And then he sort of leaves the conversation.
Friday will continue to take in the room, like as all this is happening, seeing who's really paying attention to that conversation, who's taking more interest than they should.
Roll me investigate.
And this is the important part. Who continues to pay attention after Daddy leaves?
Roll me an investigate.
You got it. So let's see. I'm thinking student of human behavior applies here.
I'll take that one.
All right. Let's see. Mastermind?
I'll take that one.
I don't think consulting criminal really applies here. I don't think the system or Fagin applies here. I don't think friends everywhere applies here. This is going to be a weird one, but it comes from the family size one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an anything for her situation.
Describe why.
Because there are elements of the do-gooder nature that is Artemis that Friday is beginning to recognize. It also reminds them of their sister.
I'll take it.
There's a little bit of a familial nature beginning to build there, like an understanding of the family relationship going on. So.
I'll take it. I'll take that.
All right. You want to invoke anything?
Nope, you're good.
All right.
Great success. Okay, so you have 3 questions to ask me. What do you got? Hit me with those good questions.
Who's paying attention to the conversation?
You see that there are... what you see is no one is paying attention to this conversation. And it doesn't even look like... What stands out to you is you don't see anyone, like, peeking in on it, and you don't see anyone actively avoiding peeking in on it. It looks like no one... Like, these kinds of conversations happen all the time here, and so people don't pay any mind to them. Like, there might be a conversation where Vidalis sits down with the congressman, and, like, no one pays attention to it, right? That kind of thing. So you get the feeling that conversations like this happen here all the time, which is information of itself to you. That's one.
You guys have anything else? Can you guys think of anything?
I mean, Artemis is probably going to want to shoot you a text. We need Judd.
I have a free one that I'll give you. Well, I'll use one of your questions for it, but I have one for you if you guys don't come up with two of your own.
Because Artemis has been using you two to pay attention to the room. She was very focused on what she was doing with her father. So,
let's see if the free one generates a third question.
Sure.
Go ahead.
As you are canvassing the room to the best of your ability, eating your French omelet with your creme fraiche, you look around and you see Diego get up from the table and leave. You catch him say something to you see him turn and say something to the attendant waiting at the door, to which the attendant kind of nods, and then you see the attendant turn to a side door, open the side door, poke his head in, and you lose sight of him for a second. And then he pokes his head back out, and two men in black on black suits walk out with Mr. Marino, and he closes the door behind them and returns to his post.
Wait, so Diego did this?
Mm-hmm,
or
Mr. Marino.
Okay, so he pokes his head in.
No, he talks to the waitstaff guy, the guy with the
and the
napkin,
attendant goes back.
and he looks in, says something to a room. Two gentlemen follow Mr. Marino out, and he closes the door. And these men are wearing black suits with black shirt, black tie.
Before I ask the third question, did Molly ever tell us anything about the people that she was aware of?
She told Judd,
and Artem and.
But I will give you this: the 8 men last night wore very similar outfits.
Okay.
So that is one clue from me, and then you have one more to ask.
Are we going to be seeing any trouble from anyone as we exit?
Not unless you cause it.
Okay.
Okay. Artemis, you were going to text Friday?
I'm going to text Friday. I've pocketed the phone. And then I'm going to beeline out for the door. There's nothing else interesting here as far as she knows.
Okay.
And probably signal the valet and someone, or not the valet, the driver.
Yeah. Is that a known signal was when you leave, they leave too, kind of thing, or a few moments later they leave as well?
Yeah, they're pulling up, so as soon as I get to the door, they should be somewhere where I could just jump in. And
no, I mean Friday and Molly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you guys leaving shortly after? Okay. So, you guys all get into the XT5, and the camera cuts. And because I love dropping these bombs with the corruption bar at the end of the episode to just get all those faces, you guys all enter into the vehicle. As conversation starts to happen inside the XT5, the camera cuts back inside the Admiral's Cove Country Club here, and it travels down a hallway that Molly peered down for just a split second and saw a girl that she thought she saw for just a split second, and you see all 3 of the Atropos sisters. Now in the daylight, now together, you can tell that they are for sure sisters. They look very similar. They are talking amongst themselves, dressed in their various attire, and you hear them say, "Well, now what, Mother?" And out of the camera sort of pans around to the rest of the table, and you see Belladonna sitting there. She says, "Well, now we see what happens. And that is where we end tonight's episode.
Shit.
So, that was episode 7? Episode 7, Greener Pastures of Paradise City. Johnny has so many questions. I can see them boiling under your skin right now. That being
said, all I want to know is what she looks like. I want to know what Belladonna actually looks like. We haven't heard you describe her.
That's right. We
did a little bit.
We haven't.
Well, yeah, but he didn't really actually talk about what she looks like in this setting.
Yeah, that's true. So what she looks like here is she's sitting now, so it's hard to tell. She is in a dress, a fine dress. She has a double beaded row of pearls at her neck. In this pose, she has white gloved hands up to her forearm. She has jet black hair with like one center pin curl that's kind of like above the forehead and kind of curtains down, and you see that it's longer in the back than it is on the front. It's very textured kind of thing. She has very dark features. Her eyes are like this like ocean blue, and she looks very well manicured but very stern, right? Like an Italian McGonagall. If you could get that right, yeah. So if you could,
sold.
Yeah, if you could wrap your head around that, she looks like that. Yeah. So that's where we wrap up episode 7, Greener Pastures. Let's go around, do our introductions, and get into this after show because I feel like it's gonna be juicy.
Yes.
We'll start with Johnny. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Video Store Cowboy everywhere. This Saturday we're doing another episode or another couple episodes of Recording Dark Fortunes, and that's all I really have on tap right this second. So yeah,
hell yeah, fantastic. Let's jump over to Cherry. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Cherry Babam on Twitch, Cherry Babam7 on Twitter. More tarot stuff. Did a cooking stream this weekend. You should go back and watch the VOD. That was I accidentally made my pastry into a shape. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Having a lot of fun getting into some goofy stuff. Come hang out.
Okay, awesome. And last but not least, Kitty, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Awkward Kitty Inc. You can find me everywhere at Awkward Kitty Inc. I'm doing a lot of art and playing a lot of Animal Crossing. It's consumed my life.
Perfect. That sounds like a hell of a good time.
What's that like?
I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up tonight. Thank you for hitting that corruption bar. Thank you for all of the support for the show. And I want to just, real quick, I just want to like rub it in everyone's face in chat. Everyone was trying to figure out the end of last week's episode where somebody got a phone call from an Alexander Miller. Now, I give the cast a pass on this because they don't see the stream. But chat, someone's face literally says Alexander Miller under them. But you're so focused on the faces, no one even noticed it. Which is perfect. And you guys need to pay the most attention. That being said, if you like what we do here and you want to support the show, join us on a Patreon. That's the best place to do it. You guys get to see all kinds of behind-the-scenes exclusives, including the after show here that we're about to shoot, where we get the players' thoughts, feelings, and questions and concerns about the show and where they're going in the future. And until then, we'll see you guys in the Discord. Link for that down below. So from all of us to you, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.